Okay, free paper bun and September morning I come. You can't be Jamaican and not know that I'm talking about back to school. Welcome to All Angles. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. We're going to be hearing from the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Leighton Johnson. We're also going to be hearing from president of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, Lindbergh Wright. They're in studio with me. And we are going to be hearing as well from the principal of Discovery Bay High School, Dwayne Mulgrave, who is on Zoom with us. Before all of that, though, I want to remind you, you can participate in the program. You can tweet us at hashtag TVJ, All Angles, WhatsApp us as well as 876-381-0072. Give us your first name, give us your general location. First, though, producer Giovanni Dennis spoke to Education Minister Favour Williams about some of the pressing issues facing the school system.
Hearing concerns about the problems because of a lack of classroom space, for example, at Discovery Bay and Westwood High. What's being done first to solve this problem at Discovery Bay High and when?
All right, so I took a tour of Discovery Bay High recently, and I see the problem in terms of being crunched together in a very small space. It needs a better solution than just trying to crunch in more classrooms into that small space. And we have done the work looking at the catchment area where students come from, the need in that entire area. And there is a new school that's planned for that area that will alleviate some of the issues that the existing schools are having. So yes, I know Discovery Bay needs more classroom. I know they had started a building to add new classrooms, and they're working with the Ministry of Education to finish those so that they'll be available for the new school year. But it's not just a simple solution of just trying to crunch in more classrooms into Discovery Bay. We've had to take a more holistic view of that entire area and have decided that a new school is the best option for that area. Obviously, that's not going to help right now in the near term, but it's the better decision to make.
So you've answered the second question that won't help in the near term, but come next week there will be a very real problem of a significantly limited space. What then in the short term for that?
Right, so when I went there, I saw some classrooms that were in the process of being completed. So those will be available. I think also we spoke about possibly retrofitting different areas, different buildings at the school to ensure that, let's say, the smaller grade can move to a different location, or the high school uses another location. Those were some of the issues talked about, and I will get an update. I'll call the principal. I'll speak to our people at the ministry to see what work has been done since I made that visit.
The other school now, Westwood High, there was a fire there a few years ago as well. Still having issues. It has not been properly refurbished, the area. They have serious issues with space. What's happening with them, and how soon can we expect some resolution?
The work for them is in the plans as laid out to me. Again, it's taken way longer, right, considering when the fire was. But I know it has been prioritized to get done. I can't say for sure what the quantum of work to be done will be this year, but I am pushing to have some work begin for them in this school year.
Especially when we talk about a school like Westwood, where the fire happened around 5 years ago, I think about 2017, 2018, thereabouts. We're now in 2023. Why is the new school year starting with problems such as this still not solved?
Again, it takes a while to get things done in our schools, especially if you have to build new classrooms, if you have to retrofit space and so on. Many of our schools are in need, and so despite the work that we've been done, it appears as if, nothing is happening, because you might have worked on, if you look at our list of schools for the past school years at which we did critical maintenance work, it's approaching 200 schools. But there are other schools that were not done, and they're wondering when. I want to stress that the work that we do is all year round. Sometimes for the major work, it does take a time for the assessment to be done, for tenders to be put out. The tenders may come back. They may have to go again to market and so on. Those are some of the things that you have to contend with in terms of doing construction work. But I want to assure the education sector that the ministry has budget for the things that it needs to do, and we continue to look at how best we can streamline what we're doing to get more of it done, so that our schools are not, in the state just sitting there waiting, expecting, waiting, and it's not done. But with regards to Westwood, we're going to have to prioritize it even further than we have done so far.
You mentioned the tender process, putting out bids and getting back replies, I guess, for contractors to do the work. Is there a need then to rejig how the ministry does it? Because the bureaucratic process seems to be very long.
Yes.
And what?
Something that we have been discussing, talking about, trying to put into effect. We know the work that's needed in our schools, and I'm saying if 10 schools need their roof repaired, why can't we package those 10 schools and get a contractor to focus on that, rather than taking one school at a time, putting out a tender for that school, then going to the next school and the next. You can see how much time, how long it would take. I think we're getting someplace.
You sound just as frustrated as some of these schools, but you're in the position to make the change, Minister.
Right, so exactly, and that is what, as I was about to say, I think we're getting closer to having a more streamlined process work in our schools. It took some discussion. It took the procurement group looking at the laws to make sure they're still abiding by them and so forth. But I believe in the new school year and beyond, many of these issues that our schools have been complaining about in terms of critical repairs, we will see a faster pace in how they get done.
Okay, so we'll hear some more from the minister in the next segment, but I wanted some quick comments from our guests. And Mr. Mulgrave, I'm going to have to start with you in terms of what the minister was saying. She said a new school is the best option for your area, but new classrooms are being completed and areas are to be retrofitted. Sounds like it ain't a problem, man.
Well, greetings, everyone. Thank you, Dion, for having me on the program. Giovanni mentioned the matter of the bureaucratic challenges, the red tapes and so on. It is real. And so it is true that we've been having all kinds of discussions with regard to what is needed at Discovery Bay. And of course, when we have the meetings, we proffer solutions with regard to what is needed in St. Anne, because we see the housing developments happening in the area. And so we know that there is a real need for student places in this area, certainly. Of course, though, it takes too long for us to get to some kind of solution.
Hold that thought, Mr. Mulgrave. I'm going to come back to you after the break and the other guests on this issue of the solution or lack thereof. And remember, want to hear from you as well. 3810072 is our WhatsApp line. Give us your first name, give us your general location. We're talking education, back to school. Back in a moment.